Chefs with Compassion are doing their bit to help the vulnerable during the hard times of the COVID-19 pandemic. They've served more than 1.5 million meals to those most hard hit since the start of the lockdown. They're doing this by using food that would have normally gone to waste. To tell us more about this initiative is chef and owner of the local grill, Steve Maresch. A very good morning to you, Steve. First of all, tell me a little bit more about Chefs with Compassion. I mean, how did the idea to lend a helping hand in such a manner even come about?
Good morning. Yeah, it was really a collective. Philippe Friedman and Caroline Brayside Butchery and a few others initially started this off. We, as a restaurant at the local grill, I would spend mornings sitting head in hand, not knowing what to do, and we always want to try our best to make a difference. And Chefs with Compassion was then formed, and we were very fortunate enough in the early days to be a beneficiary of this food that had been rescued. We would then turn that with volunteers and a very small handful of our chefs into meals, which is then collected by NGOs, and that is then taken out to those in need and those that are hungry. And that's over in South Africa. That's in excess of 13 million that are hungry every day. So that's how it all began, and projects like this just snowball. When the need increases, the demand is very obvious, and with 12.5 million tons of food waste every year, there's a lot that we can use, and the more we got to use, the more we saw that we could just do more. It's now the trick is to find more chefs to get involved and to continue with the supply chain.
Steve, I want to focus a little bit on the food that is going to waste. I mean, this is food that would have otherwise ended up in a landfill. So is it safe to say that there are tons of foods that are going to waste when there are people that could be eating this food who need this food?
Absolutely. Out of the 12.6 million tons these wasted annually, and this is only a figure taken from 2015 that we can pull from, approximately 10%, 10 tons of that is edible. So there's a lot that we can do. It's a messy job at times, but at the share house we're able to gather all the goods. They then get cleaned up and they get redistributed to the various hubs and cooks. So it is sustainable from a supply point of view. As I said earlier, we just love to find more chefs to get involved.
And every last bit is used. I mean, what happens, for example, to ingredients that aren't fit for human consumption?
Fortunately, at the Share Hub, we have pig farms that then come and collect the waste.
Yeah.
So everything is ultimately used and does go towards some form of food.
All right, so the good news is that there is hope for the future in terms of feeding more people for at least the next 18 months. You will continue to help feed millions. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, fortunately, we have a new sponsor on board, Campus Insurance, and that means that we have the financial aid to make it happen. That obviously is the biggest challenge in a project like this, where we are so far into COVID. There's sponsor fatigue. There's the business fatigue and the pressures on businesses like ourselves. Being restaurants that have been willing to help and send out the food to the various NGOs. We just the donations are absolutely essential to make this all possible.
Yeah, and speaking about those donations, Steve, how do people help you and the team? How do they reach out to you? What do you need people to do to get involved?
It's very simple. Just to go to the Chefs with Compassion website. There's a link. Alternatively, to give us a call.
Yeah.
We all work together in this. So where there's anybody that wants to help in any way, and it's crazy what we've the help that we've got from farmers in the Free State, sponsoring potatoes, right the way through to hunters that have or farmers that have had excess game that they wanted to sell. not sell, give to us. So there are many ways to assist, and volunteers have been incredible. Wherever there's a thought, could they do with this? That's already enough excuse to give us a call.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Steve. Keep up the incredible work. That was chef and owner of the local grill, Steve Maresch.